Hello, how's it going? My name's Adam. Welcome to A Duda Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about the brand new film starring Tom Holland, and it's directed by the Russo brothers, and it also stars Chiara Bravo. This film is entitled Cherry. Okay, so what is the plot of the film? Basically, Tom Holland's character Nico, he meets this girl. He's a young lad in college. He meets this girl, falls in love with her. They get it on, and then she decides that she has to go to college in Canada for some reason. So he gets really heartbroken by this and goes, well, fuck it, I'm going to join the army. So he joins the army, and the two are separated. Just before they leave, they decide to get married so they can sort of be committed to one another during their time apart. So they get married, and he goes to the army. And when he's in the army, he is a medic, I believe. And while he's there, he sees some traumatizing shit, like guts coming out of some guy's stuff, and he has to like push all the guts back in, and just friends of his getting like burnt up and things like that. So it's quite traumatic for him. So he comes back and meets up with his wife, young wife again, and he's got PTSD. He's really traumatized with the whole thing. So he starts to take opioid medication. He's really fucked up by the whole thing, and their relationship is really strained, the girl and him. So because he's taken these opioids, he suddenly like switches from that to doing heroin. So now he's doing heroin. And then she joins him, and she's doing heroin as well. So then we get a whole sort of another movie where it's like they're all fucked up on heroin and living that sort of squalor type of life, and he has to rob banks to fund his heroin addiction.
Get on the ground! The one thing about robbing banks is you're mostly robbing women, so the last thing you want to be is rude. Ma'am, it's nothing personal.
Now, this is a big departure from directors, the Russo brothers and Tom Holland, for their previous work is usually on the MCU and things like that, Spider-Man, what have you. And now it's quite a dramatic adult type film, so he swears in it, and there's drugs in it, and there's no boobs in it, but there's sex in it. So it's like really adult and stuff, but it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's that. And Tom Holland is a fantastic actor, I think. I think he's really sort of elevating himself as he goes along with his films and with the choices of films and things he tries to do. And I think he's really sort of trying to get out of his comfort zone, which is very important for an actor, I believe, you know, because if they just get stuck in this one role, they'll be pigeonholed that for the rest of their life. And he's still young, so he's still got that room to grow, and I think is a wise choice to branch out a little bit. So his acting in the film is really good. The girl, Emily, her acting was okay. The chemistry between them was there, I guess. It was sort of there, but she was very sort of cold girlfriend. She wasn't really very, but maybe that was just a character, I don't know, but she was kind of like, I don't really get the attraction. The film itself was really oddly paced. The pacing in the film was sort of like the beginning part where they're all loved up and stuff really dragged for me. And I was like looking at my watch going, this is actually quite a boring film. I think I'm going to turn it off. And then he joined the army, and then it suddenly kicked in again with some very sort of stylized filming and sort of borrowing stuff from other films that I've seen before. So Wes Anderson's almost sort of arty type films. And there's, for instance, Tom Holland talks to the camera at one point and addresses the audience.
I've been at this a while now, and it's no secret what my face looks like.
And it's just quite different the way they were doing things in it, but yet quite samey because it's been done before. But it's different for the Russo brothers. The drug scenes in it, the heroin scenes, were quite grim, I guess. And it was, obviously it's going to be, but it was really odd to see Tom Holland in that kind of a role. But what it really reminded me of, because Tom Holland himself actually gets compared to an old hero of mine, Michael J. Fox. And Michael J. Fox in the 80s was kind of like pigeonhole as Back to the Future guy. So he wanted to branch out, and he did a film called Casualties of War, which is about Vietnam War. And it really reminded me of like Michael J. Fox's performance in that.
Oh my God, I hit it!
Some scenes in the film just seemed a little bit odd and sort of out of place and didn't really seem that realistic almost. It was like, that would never happen, or things like that. But I guess you just sort of, it's a movie, so you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit sometimes. But overall, it did entertain me. I did find it entertaining. I thought I was going to turn it off, but then once it hooked me, it really did. Mainly because of Tom Holland's performance in this. It did sort of pull up any kind of weak plot points or anything like that. His performance really did elevate it. So overall, I did enjoy the film. I would recommend it. Even though I would say temper your expectations, because it ain't that good. It's all right. So like a 5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10, something like that. But maybe a 6. I'm going to go 6 because of Tom Holland's performance. So 6 out of 10. And it was something different. And I would even watch it again. So I think it would have a bit of a rewatchability factor. So yeah. That is my thoughts on that particular film. Have you seen the film? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below and all that shit. I love you very much. God bless. Goodbye.